A lot of guys are quite confused about the subject of when to be emotional in front of their girlfriends or wives. And I'm going to tell you how and when to be emotional and to show some vulnerability in front and to your woman. Okay, so the advice, there's two sets of advice about this. There's the mainstream advice, and then there's the online sort of red pill manosphere type advice. The mainstream advice is men should talk about their emotions. Men should be open to discussing what's on their mind with women. They should be vulnerable with women. They should never hold anything in. That's sort of the mainstream advice. And of course, most men take that advice on board. And they, produce sort of verbal diarrhea on how they're feeling at any given moment to their women. And then you have sort of the manosphere, red pill advice, and it's like the general advice there is never talk about your emotions to your women, because she has this evolutionary, biological processing where they become very unattracted to you when they do. I think both sets of advice is wrong. It's wrong to do. Obviously, when you have two extremes, the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to explain this now. This is what you should do with your woman. You should be vulnerable. You should be, maybe not vulnerable is the right word, but you should talk about your emotions and your issues with your women at certain topics and at certain times. What you shouldn't do as a man is, if you're going through a bad stage, it depends what you're upset about. Depends what's pissing you off or getting you down. For example, if you're a man and let's say you're having a hard time at work and the boss is giving you a hard time, is really stressing you out, really pissing you off, putting pressure on you, you don't like it, and you go to your woman and you're just like emotional about it, you're upset, you're down, you're bitching, you're moaning about it, this is getting me down, this is causing me stress, oh, my boss is a dickhead, blah, blah, blah. That's not the type of thing to be discussing with your woman. Some of you might be like, why not? That's you becoming a woman. That's you moaning and bitching about something. Yeah, that's not, and you're showing weakness there by admitting to your woman that this is what you allow another person to do to you, to get to you. They're emotionally affecting you. And what are you going to do about it? A woman wants to know that you have some control, that you can do something about it. The other thing is, women don't want responsibility for your issues. They're okay to listen to some certain issues, but as long as they don't harbor any responsibility for improving those issues, they want you to do something about those issues you have. So if your friends are upset you and you're like, oh, my friends are upset me, I'm so upset about my friends, you're being a little bitch. Yeah, I'm just going to say it straight. You're being a bitch, you're being a woman about these things. These are not the type of things you need to be stressing about. Money's tight. Oh my god. Oh, my skin. Oh, I'm so stressed about money. I'm worried. What are we gonna do, babe? Again, being a little bitch. These are wrong things to be emotional about. Now, if you have something serious going on, if you have a loved one that dies, and you cry in front of your woman because a loved one has died, that's completely and utterly understandable, and in my eyes, that is okay to do that. You're human. When my grandparents died, and they were old, but I was super close to them, loved them very much, I cried in front of my wife. This was within a year of dating. I cried to her in front of her. And now I've heard stories of guys have situations like that, when they're completely justified in their emotional response, when they break down, when they cry, when they let someone know something is really bothering them, that it could be something very, very serious going on. Maybe you've lost the job and you're trying to vent a little bit and you're a bit stressed. but you do come up with a plan. And I've heard of these situations, and then the woman has rescinded her sexual advances. Let's say they've got the ick, a few weeks later, they end the relationship or whatever it is. Now, when you're fully justified in an emotional response to a woman, you're being human. Something tragic happens, you show emotion. And a woman recedes her love, her affection, her connection, her physical intimacy with you. That's a major red flag. If she leaves you for that and does all of that, right, that's not the woman for you, boys. That isn't the woman for you. You need to get rid. If you're still with her and she rescinds things and she's, cold, you get rid of her. Tell her how it is, probably get rid of her. She's not for you, boys. If she dumps you, it's a blessing in disguise. She's not for you. She's not a good human being. She's not able to look past her instincts and tap into her humanity. If you have a legitimate, depression or anxiety, within my first year of dating my wife, we moved in together. Shortly after we moved in together, I explained, I have social anxiety. And I struggle with this from time to time, and this anxiety can get the better of me at times, but for the most part, I got it under control. And she divulged into her problems as well, some issues she has. Luckily, maybe it helped that we both had this, but she was okay with that. This was a legit thing. If I was going to settle down with this woman, she has to know this about me. And she has to accept this about me. That was my thinking. If she didn't, it was a blessing for me if she couldn't accept that. That's fine. You're not the one for me. But she was. She accepted it, fully embraced that. So, when you hear Manosphere, right, never talk about emotions, that's bullshit. That's not a real relationship. If you're in a relationship with a woman and you cannot tell her about certain things, you cannot get certain things off your chest to her that are really bothering you, that are legitimate problems, you cannot show emotions when something genuinely tragic in your life has happened, guys, that's not a real relationship. You're not built on a solid foundation there of trust and respect, honesty. It's a ridiculous thing. And someone who's been married now, I've been with my wife for 12 years, been married for 8, you have to be able to express these things. On the flip side, I don't talk about everything that bothers me, right? There's certain things that bother me, there's certain things that bother me about my job. If I've gone through a bit of money troubles or whatever it is, it could be anything, and I'm feeling a bit stressed and anxious and down about it, maybe even sometimes my social anxiety might creep in, or sometimes I bite my tongue, bite down on it, know that I'll deal with it myself. I haven't got to bother my wife about all these things, because I know that some of these things, if I stressed and released to her about, she'd just be turned off by it. I know that. I understand women's nature in that regard. But with the serious stuff, I'm more than happy to do it, because I trust her. I know that she won't get turned off or run away if I talk about those things. So that's my view on it, guys. That is my view on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. But I think that's pretty damn solid advice. Link to my main channel is in the description. Go and sign up there if you haven't. Sign up to this one, subscribe to this one as well if you want. Hopefully you join back for the next video.